Hey everyone, we'll talk about Crew.ai. And the reason why I want to mention Crew.ai is because this is one platform where you definitely want to go and check it out for building multi-agent systems, right? I've been exploring agents and agentic systems quite recently, and the the fun and the ease, right, and the joy that Crew AI gave me in building systems, building multi-agent systems is just quite amazing. It's just it's a great tool. It's a great resource, which you definitely want to check it out to build multi-agent systems. There are many other companies. There are frameworks like LangChain. In LangChains, you do have agents and tools, right, which you can use. But right now, we'll focus on Crew AI to build agents um, and agents and tools and the tasks that they are going to perform, right? And you will see that there is a kind of the it's all about prompting. It's the way you prompt it, right? It's about you being the manager, and it's about you knowing what the task you need to do and who are the people that you want who will do the task for you, right? So if you have these two things cleared, then you can definitely build good multi-agent systems with some practice, and it's so intuitive, right? But definitely, it's not that easy to build a good system which can do the task that you want it to do. It definitely needs some practice, but the intuition and the fun, right? The that that that's there in building multi-agent systems using Crew AI is definitely something which I do want to point it out. And whatever I will be doing in Crew AI, right? Whatever is specific for Crew AI, regards to agents and tools and tasks, is similar for other frameworks where they are discussing agents and tools and tasks, right? Most of them are similar. Okay, okay, let's dive into what are agents, right? So, what are agents, right? Now, we all know what ChatGPT is. We all have been playing with it, right? So, let me open up my ChatGPT. So, I've not logged in, but let me try to prompt something here. So, I'm using ChatGPT 4.0 mini. So, let's try to, do some prompting. Let's say I want to uh, know some steps as to how to apply to a data science job, right? So what I will do is I'll just say, how do I apply to a data science job, right? So if I do this, right, what's going to happen is it will give you a result, right? It will so it's doing a good job actually. So it's telling you identify job opportunities, tailor your resume, craft a compelling cover letter, prepare your portfolio, apply online, things like that, right? So you get this, but let's say you're not happy with it, right? Maybe you want it short. So what you do next is make it short, right? You do this, and definitely LLM will do that for you. It will make it short, right? But then your next task will be to, let's say, find job opportunities, right? So where do you find the job opportunities? Maybe you don't want to go to Google and search for job opportunities on your own. Maybe you want LLMs to do it for you, right? So then you will next prompt will be to uh, search for jobs, right? And then next step, maybe you want to look at all those websites, right, which are to do with data science or software engineering, right? And then you want to apply to the good ones, or the places where your profile matches with what's there in the website, right? So again, there are a lot of steps. Maybe you can definitely prompt it in the initial prompt itself. you can definitely give a detailed prompt as to what the LLM should do. But the trouble comes in when uh, you want um, so the trouble is that you are constantly monitoring the LLM, right? So how is it? How's the response like, right? And is it doing a good job, right? So then you are continuously prompting it and making it better. But what if, right? You wanted that to be automated, right? Maybe you don't want to, you know, keep doing the prompting, and maybe you want certain things to be automated, and also you want to ensure that the response or whatever the LLM is doing is exactly what you want to do, right? So maybe so in the usual setup, what happens is there's this LLM, right, and there's this user, right, and you do this prompting, and you get back the response, right? And what happens is you do this many times, right? But instead, what if you could have like two systems, right? Two AI systems, right? And so the goal here is to, so when you do this prompting, at the end of it, you get the result, right? You get the result. But um, let's say you want the same result, right? But you don't want to be involved, right? Maybe you want uh, uh, you don't want to really spend too much time checking whether the LLM is doing a good job, or um, so what can be done is that instead, can we have, right, so that's a question, so can we have like at least two systems, right, two AI systems which can uh, check each other, right, maybe it can communicate with each other, right, possibly use tools, right, it should use tools, right, uh, so that it communicates with the external world, right, so that it has access to, let's say, the internet, and I mean the websites where, for example, you're applying to jobs, so it has access to the web links and the external links, or maybe tools to scrape those websites, right? Or to do, or maybe tools to read a file, right, or write a file, right? Things like that. So tools, general tools for it to interact with, you know, uh, let's say the external world, right? So can we have a system like this? Can we have AI systems which can interact with each other, and you can use tools, and at the end, right, it will give you the result, right? And so the the added advantage of having two AI systems is that it's monitoring each other, right? So it's just making sure that what this AI is doing is exactly okay or not, right? So this checking mechanism, where basically it should have been you who should be doing this, but let's say you're not here. Maybe you have replaced it with some other AI system which is just doing it for you, right? Possibly things like this, right? So, or maybe many more agents, right? Many more AI systems, which happens either parallelly or hierarchically, right? There can be many processes that can happen, or many ways of interacting with these multiple systems, and at the end, it gives you a result, right? So you must understand that this is not a usual request, like a simple ones that I was showing you, for example, how to apply for data science job. That's just a one liner, right, which yields just one answer, which has just a one answer output, right? But we build multi-agent systems for bigger tasks, right, where you want to really interact with the external world. By that I mean you want to leverage the, let's say, the whole of internet, right, uh, or external data sets, right, databases, and and you need tools, right, specifically to do things with it, right? Then you need these kind of systems, right? Rather than just giving you straight away answers, you want it to do things, right, and produce results, right? Then you need to build multi-agent systems, right, which can make things much easier, much faster, right? So this is the basis for multi-agent systems. So generally, when we talk about agents, you have three things that comes together um, with an agent, right? Or two things. So including the agent, it's three, which is basically agents can use tools, right? That's one functionality, right? It can use tools to do things externally, right? So it can leverage tools, and the other thing is that it can do role playing, right? So there's a specific role attached to this AI agent, right? Maybe the role of, let's say, I don't know, maybe it's a software engineer, right? Or maybe a YouTube video analyzer, or maybe a virtual teacher, right? Or maybe a blog writer, right? So it can take in any kind of role that you prompt it to. So that's one another feature of an agent. So it can role play, right? It can do a role playing. Um, uh, so let me just so it can do role playing. It can do specific tasks, right? So there's a role attached to it, and corresponding to that, there's a task that it can do, right? And you can prompt it, right? You can actually prompt it what kind of a task you want it to do, right? What's expected and everything. So you have tools. It can role play. It can do tasks, right? And Now, more specifically to an agent or this agentic system, you have, you know, as you can see, there's collaboration or cooperation between multiple agents, right? This is usual. So when you will see me in Colab, so I'll go to Colab and I will just initialize two agents, right? You can see that very naturally you can see that both of them can interact with each other, right? That's the default. Like they can interact with each other, the response, and they have memory, right? That's also something which is inbuilt. They can use tools. They can cooperate. They have focus, right? So by that I mean it's not about. I'm not talking about like focus in sense of context length, right? I'm talking about like focus in sense it knows what it wants, what we want it to do. So it's goal oriented, right? It knows what kind of a tool it has in its hands, right? So which you can prompt it, so it will focus only on those tools, right? And it knows what content it's sending out, and so in all these areas it has like a kind of focus, right? Yeah, and there are like guardrails which have been built into these AI systems to not go into loops. Like so, for Crew.ai, they have done their job, and I think they are still, you know, they definitely have built a good mechanisms to make sure that these agents, right, when they do tasks, right, maybe let's say they were doing a task for a long time and accidentally the AI agent accessed the tool which it couldn't use to do a certain task, right? So then, or maybe it ran into a loop, right, which goes on forever, right? So these are the situations, or there can be many other situations where your whole system is just comes to a halt, right? Or it can just it doesn't know how to move forward with it, right? So in these situations, uh, to not derail the whole system, they have put in place some guardrails, which will ensure that you get the response. But of course, there can be you can build frameworks where, let's say, if you run into some kind of a loop or some kind of a an issue with your the task that the agent is doing, then you can actually stop it, but uh, or you can actually move on and do the next task and things like that. So these are guardrails which have been set in place. Okay, so this is the entire multi-agent systems in a nutshell. I've just uh, I've gone over it in a very basic kind of an overview of it. I've just given an overview of it, um, but I think this is good enough for us to go and see this in action, right? So I'll go to the Colab notebook and I will just try to code this out. So we'll build the kind of a small project, right? So I'll build two agents, which is going to go to my YouTube channel, and it's going to pick up one particular video, and it's going to analyze the video and convert the content of my video in a file format, right? So it's just going to describe what I've or it's just going to describe one of my videos in my YouTube channel, right? So let's go to the Colab notebook and build it out. Okay, so here we are at the Colab notebook. So before I start anything, what I will suggest you all to do is import OS, right? And you just set the OpenAI API key environment, right? So you get your key, the OpenAI key from your OpenAI website, and then you can fill the environment variable with that particular key, which I have already done it, right? So I'm not going to repeat it. So all you just need to do is os.environment, and this OpenAI key is equal to, you just need to mention whatever key you have, right? Okay, so once that is done, the next step is to install the necessary libraries. The first one is pip install Crew.ai, because we are working with Crew.ai, and the next one is Crew.ai tools, right? So let's run this. Because I have already done this once, this won't take much time. Yeah, it's already done. But what if you're trying it for the first time? It's gonna take a little bit of time, right? Even if you're doing it in Colab. So just have a little bit of patience. It's just gonna take a little bit while to just install all the libraries, right? So now, once that's done, you have your entire Crew.ai in your Colab, right? So next step is to build the agent. So from Crew.ai, you can import agent class. So agent class. Now, sorry, it should be a caps agent, right? Now, as I said before, I'm gonna create agents which can interact with my YouTube channel, right? So first, let's create a researcher, a YouTube researcher, YT researcher, right? So it will be an agent with a role, right? So what's the role? The role is to so the role here is to, okay, it's gonna take a little bit of a while. Okay, so the role here is it's a research, right? So it research YouTube videos. So research ARCH YT, so YouTube videos, right? Okay, so that's the role here, and it has a goal, right? So the goal here is to get relevant video content for the topic so it should be in brackets from YouTube channel, right? So it's just going to go to my channel and it's going to figure out one video which is related to the topic that I'm gonna pass on later. So you can see the topic is in parenthesis, right? You will see that once you can fill this up at the end, right? So before you run your crew is basically consisting of the agents, right? We are building first agent, we can go build one more, right? At the end of all this, after I initialize tools and everything, at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this up with the specific topic, right? Which this agent will use to search through my YouTube channel, and then it will pick, the specific video, right, related to that content, right? So the next thing in my agent class is you can specify a name, which is not. Uh, so it's yeah, you can actually specify a name. Let's say this is a YouTube researcher, right? Uh, and now there are many more parameters, like verbose is true, right? You want to see what the agent is doing, and also you want things like um, uh, so you want memory to be true, right? Um, and so you always have memory true, right? So whenever you have agents in your crew, they will have memory true. So that means they have access to the memory, right? The long term and the short term and entity memory. So we don't need to go into it in deeper. It just remembers, right, what it is doing and the task that it has already done and things like that, right? So there's nothing complicated. Just memory is true. That's all we need to do. But the next thing is the backstory, right? So the backstory is interesting. So I'm just gonna do like this. So what's the backstory? So this is kind of like you are kind of trying to describe what this is, right? You're kind of trying to trying to um, kind of describe him, right? Describe the system. So I'm just gonna say like expert in um, expert in. So you want to make him as good as make him as good as the role that you want it to do, right? For example, here you want it to research YouTube videos, so you want him to be expert in understanding um, videos related to data science and AI in the AI. So because the topic will be something related to data science, right? Which I'm going to pass it on later. So you want this agent to be an expert in that, right? So that's our next thing that we want. So once this is done, you want uh, you want uh, you want to have another parameter called allow delegation is true, right? Which is always true. You can whenever you have agents, you can actually pass on uh, the task, right? So this is just to make sure that your agents can talk to each other, right? If you make it false, then this agent will work on its own. So it will be just as a separate entity, right? So, but you don't want it to be separate here. I'm going to build another agent, which is just going to take the content from this particular agent, which is basically all of the research that it has done on my videos, and then my next agent is just going to take in that uh, the content or the research, and it's going to present that content in a better way, right? So I'm just going to form a different agent, which is just going to be let's say a blog writer, right? So let's run this, and so the next agent is going to be um, blog writer, right? So this is going to be an agent, and the role is it's a blog writer, right? As simple as that. Now the goal here is to um, is to, let's say, um, narrate uh, narrate um, the story about the video uh, from the topic, right? Based on the topic from YouTube channel, right? So this is just, it's just gonna narrate the story, right? Whatever it is, or you can actually make it much better. Uh, Narrate the um, story about the video in a compelling way, right? In a From the YouTube channel in a compelling way, right? So this is just a, that's the goal. It's just going to narrate it in a interesting way. Now you can specify a name for this. So let's say you want the name to be a blog writer, right? Which is natural, and all the other parameters are just um, are there. For example, the memory is true, the verbose is true. Now you just need a backstory, right? So let's see, memory is true, um, verbose is true. Now you want backstory. So this is where I try to describe this. So this is simplify complex topics. Now brings interesting narrative forwards, um, and new ideas, right? New ideas, right? So this is the backstory. So you're just describing it. It just simplifies the topics, brings interesting narrative forward and new ideas, right? So this is what my blog writer is going to be. And here what you just need to do is you don't want this to delegate its task back to YouTube researchers, so you just do allow delegation equal to false. Okay, so that's done. Now those are the two agents. Now associated with the agent, you have the tool, right? Now, what kind of a tool is it going to use? Now, the tool is it comes from Crew.ai tools. So from Crew.ai tools, import. Now, I'm just going to import a specific one. So YouTube channel search tool. Okay. Now there are many other tools in Crew.ai, right? Now, if you go to the Crew.ai docs, right, which is right here. So when you go to the docs, actually you can find all the information regarding Crew.ai, right? So you can definitely check it out. You will get much more information about than what I've shared in their documents page, right? So in the page, if you just go down, you can see the tools, right? So you have a lot of tools, just like in LangChain. If you have explore the LangChain documentation, so you will see a lot of tools here as well. So you have YouTube video rack search, you have YouTube channel rack search, right? You have XML rack search, vision tool, right? You have scrapers, you have DALI tool, you have code docs rack tool. So a lot of tools, right, which you can explore. So I'm going to import YouTube channel search tool, right, which is right here from Crew.ai tools, right? this will help me to search my YouTube channel, right? So I'm just gonna paste my code here. Um, so let's so this is my uh, YouTube channel search tool, right? And the channel handle. So this is the channel handle here. So if you just do it, if you just run this, you will see that it has inserted batches into ChromaDB. So as I said, there's a memory involved, right? So it is leveraging that, and you have this YouTube search tool. Now, the next thing that you want is, so you have the tool, right? So this is the only tool that I'm going to use in this particular video here, right? And so let's see. The next tool, or the next process that we need is a task, right? It's a task. What kind of a task your crew agents are going to do? So from crew, you say import task, right? Now, okay, I just realized that from crew import task. Okay. Right. So this is another class where you will describe what your agents are going to do, right? So first one is the research task, right? Research task, where I'm just going to initialize the class, and I'm going to do description, right? It's what is the description of the task, right? So the description is basically is to first one is to, it needs to identify, right? Identify the video, which I'm gonna pass later on, right? So it needs to identify this particular video on this particular topic from my YouTube channel. And then the next one is to get detailed info about the video from the channel, right? So it's just gonna do, it's just gonna figure out the details about the video, and what you expect out of this, right? What you expect out is, I'm just gonna do here, expected output is going to be just going to be a detailed report on this topic of the video, right? Of video, right? So just right. So it's just gonna give you a detailed report of the video, and the next parameter that you're gonna pass is the tool, right? So the tools that it has access to is the one tool, which is YouTube tool, right? I'm just gonna give this this task, the single tool, right? I'm not gonna give this any other tool. So again, it has to focus. It has to focus on only this one. So what's the agent that it's related to? It's related to the YouTube researcher agent here, right? So this is the task, okay? So this is how you pass the tool. Now, know that you can actually pass the tool in the agent as well, right? When you're initializing the agent, you can actually pass the tool onto the agent as well. But if you do that, then that agent, it doesn't matter what kind of a task that you are going to assign it to, it has access to that tool, right? It has like a global access. But here, if you specify the tool to the task, then this tool is only available for this particular task, right? For which you have described here, right? So that's the difference. So for now, I'm just gonna restrict it to the task, right? So the tool is task specific. Now, similarly, you can do a writer task, right? you can actually do the writing task. So this task is associated with your first researcher agent, right? The researcher agent is just going to research my video, right? Um, so basically, it will just give you, it will give a detailed output right after analyzing my video. The next agent is a blog writer, right? So corresponding to that, I'm just going to copy paste it. Uh, it's just going to get the details of the video on the topic, right? And that's the description of the task, and the expected output is summarize the info from the channel, right, and create the content for the blog, right? So the goal is to summarize the information, right, and it's going to create an output, right, which is in a blog format. But if you remember the way I described my blog writer, it has a backstory, so it will do it that, right? It's just going to describe it in a narrative, it's in an interesting way. So it's going to simplify the topics. It's going to be interesting. It's going to bring forth an interesting narrative, right, when it describes the content. Okay. So it has the same tool, right? The agent is blog writer, and I've also specified an output file, which is a new blog post.md. So this is a new blog post, so there's something called async execution. So what's async execution? This is false, right? So async execution means that if you want your two agents, right, two tasks to happen simultaneously, right, then you specify, if you don't want it to happen parallelly, then you specify false, right? That means this one will happen, this process will happen only after the first one is done. So after the first task is done, right, and then it will pass on to this one, next one, right? But there is a way to for both the agents to work parallelly, right? That can be done, but here we are not doing that. We'll do the writing task after the research task is done, right? Okay, that's what it is. Now know that allowed delegation, that's different from async execution, right? Don't get confused with these two. Allowed delegation is to be able to pass on the output from the researcher to the next blog writer agent, right? But here the async execution is about do we want both of the tasks to happen parallelly or not, right? So you don't want to make it happen that parallelly, so you just make it false. All right, so the final thing, so let me just run this. Now the final, okay, there's some issue here, so I probably forgot. Oh, right. So yeah. Okay, so it's Crew.ai, right? My bad. Okay, so from Crew.ai, you import task, right? And this is good. Now the next one is you will you want the crew class, right? This is the final stage. So from Crew.ai, import crew, right? And you also want something called process. So I'll tell you what process is. Okay, so you will build your crew. Your crew consists of your agents, which is the two agents. Those are YouTube researcher and the blog writer, right? So these are the two agents, so here you can see that Colab actually auto completed the the rest of the parameters. One is the process. Actually, it's wrong. So you don't. Okay. So you cannot trust. Let me see. Yeah. So actually, it is okay. So um, okay. So this should be tasks, right? So the next parameter is tasks. So you specify the tasks, right? Sequentially. So YouTube, or you don't need to mention it like sequentially, because for each and every task you have specified the corresponding agent, right? So it already knows the corresponding agent for the particular task, right? And then the next one is, as I said, the process. So what is a process here? So there are many ways of you know the agents to work, right? So either you want to have a parallel process, right? Um, or maybe you want by parallel I meant a sequential process. That means one after the other, right? One agent does a task and then it passes on to the next one and things like that. uh, right? That's a sequential. Or maybe you want some hierarchical process where there's some kind of a big orchestrator or a manager which is managing all the other agents, right? Things like that. So you can have many processes. So we'll stick to the basic one for now. The process is just the sequential one. So the one after the another, right? Sequential. That's the process here. Now, some more parameters. This is true, right? And then you also have something called uh, cache, right? Cache needs to be true, right? It's already true by default. And you also okay. So and then there are many other parameters, which is which is by default it's already true. So that's it. So this is my crew, right? Um, and yeah, so this needs to be capital letter, and that's how I initialize my crew, right? Now, so I have my crew here. I only need to kickstart it, right? And then it can just do the process. So, so I want my crew to run, or basically I wanted to kick off, right? But before I do that, if you remember, I had my input. So the topic, right? This topic is something which I need to specify. So that I'm gonna do here. So inputs is nothing but topic, and I'm just gonna give it attention is all you need, right? That's the topic, right? There is a video which I did the last time related to attention is all you need. Yeah, so let's see if it can figure out this particular video from my YouTube channel. Okay, I think there was some issue. There's some issue with my OpenAI key. So let me try it again. Okay, so there's some issue with my OpenAI API key. Let me just try to fix it. Okay, so I think there was some issue with my kernel or so. I just restarted it and it's doing fine. So you can see here, right? It's doing its job, right? It's the agents are working, and at the end, what's going to happen is it's just going to give me the result, right? So um, so yeah, you can see here the blog writer has taken the role, right? It's doing its job now. Previously, the YouTube researcher, so you can see here if you just scroll up, see, it's research YouTube videos. The agent which researches YouTube video has completed its task, and then now it's has passed on to blog writer. Okay, so it has completed it, and we had specified it's to give us an output in the markdown file, right? So you have it here. Um, right, so you can see here it has given a good blog post. So in a landscape where the ability to process and generate human-like text is increasingly crucial, the monumental video from at Coding Cupcakes YouTube channel serves as an essential guide to understanding the groundbreaking transformer architecture. Probably it's doing a little bit too much on its description and narration. So, okay, so it is explaining all this. The transformer model introduced by this revolutionized the field, and at Coding Cupcakes, video dissects these concepts, backing them with engaging visuals and practical examples. And be sure to check out this channel for a thorough explanation. Okay, so it's doing a good job. It's just narrating it well, right? So this is what we wanted, right? So um, definitely, you can go check out the video on transformer model, right, that I made during the last time. Uh, of course, there are many YouTube channels which will describe this model. I just, probably I thought maybe it was good enough to go back and research the paper again. And yeah, so anyways, the Crew AI is doing a good job, right? This is two agents working simultaneously. So if you just look at the output here, you can actually see in detail what is happening uh, between the agents, right? So right now, it started off with research YouTube videos. The agent with researches YouTube videos, right? Um, if you can see the thought process that's happening. So I have searched for content, but I need to proceed with the action to gather the information about specific video related to, yeah, so related to attention, and so probably it was trying to use some kind of a tool. So I tried reusing the same tool, same input. I must stop using this action and I will try something else instead. So, right. So as you can see here, it's just, you can actually see the thought process that goes on with these agents, and uh, and then you can also see where it passes on uh, the task or delegates the task to the next agent, right? So you can actually, if you scroll down, you can have a look at it. Right, so there's the blog writer and it has its own thoughts, and so it takes the content from the previous agent, and it's just gonna write a detailed blog post, right? Okay, this is great, right? So Crew.ai, one uh, great thing, right, that you can see is how simple it is to just do the entire thing, right? To create a blog post of any YouTube channel, you just need agents, right, which can just do the task for you. Now, this opens up a lot of doors, right? A lot of opportunities to build your own systems, which can do uh, complex tasks, right? But you can see the ease with which we did the whole thing, right? It didn't take too complicated of a code to build this, right? So uh, that's the magic of this framework called Crew.ai. Okay, great. So now let's find the video here, right? Um, and Okay, so let's stop it here. I hope this small tutorial was interesting. It was good enough. And I will see you in the next video with a new tutorial on something interesting. But do go to Crew.ai and do check it out. And definitely go do another course, right? So this is a small course that they have with Andrew Yang, right? Uh, and so uh, you can definitely go check it out. This particular course where they tell you how to build multi-agent systems from scratch, right? So the instructor will do a good job in explaining everything from the scratch up, right? So definitely go check it out. And yeah, let's see what you can build with Crew AI and Crew AI tools, right? So see you next time. Take care and bye.